Hey Hanoa, how's it going? Oh, it's good, I've just been hunting. What? Really? That's quite unlike you. Well, now I can do it from my phone. You can do it on your what now? I can just play this little game on my phone. It's exactly like I'm hunting monsters. Just like you, Cotton, accomplishing things just as grand as you. Yes, your accomplishments are just as grand as mine. Now pass the dongo. No. Ladies, gentlemen, and monsters of all ages, welcome one and all to You Know Exactly What This Is. I'm here to see what the community has been saying about the Monster Hunter series this week. And not quite everything either, but a very specific subset of what people have been saying. Specifically, the more negative things. The things said in a certain way that makes no real sense to put out into the world. Opinions, they may be, but opinions sometimes have holes. You have the right to your opinion and to hold the stance that you wish to hold. But I also have the right to call you an inconsiderate prick for doing so, and sometimes things that are even worse than that. That said, firstly, a quick disclaimer that I don't hate or even dislike any of the people who said these things. I just heavily disagree with whatever it is that they happen to say in the moment. No hard feelings, I mean it. After all, what I hope for at the end of the day is that this whole Monster Hunter community to work together, to be happy together and get along. As well, if you get the same enjoyment that I do from angrily mumbling to myself over these takes, then have a follow over at the Bad Monster Hunter Takes Twitter account at MHTakes, who has been collecting a large number of people's bad takes on the series. Alright, Fugan, if you'd like to get us started. From an article on thegamer.com entitled Monster Hunter Rise, the 10 biggest fixes the game needs. Entry number 7. Add health bars as an option. Some want proper health bars on monsters to make the game more accessible to newcomers, rather than just having the monsters show damage visually. The more hardcore fanbase thinks that this would undermine the point of the game. Just having it as an option for the series is the least Capcom could do. I don't like the idea of you saying a health bar is something that needs to be added. As for the individual argument of whether we should or should not have health bars, I'm actually heavily against health bars myself. I love the aspect of the game where you have to actually analyze the situation. It's one of those things that makes it feel so much more realistic. It makes them feel like actual animals. In old games, I can see not having a health bar being occasionally considered a negative, as you could kill a monster that you intended to capture. But especially now in Monster Hunter Rise, which this article is about, there's just no innate benefit to knowing how much health the monster has other than capturing it. And even if you can't work out what a monster is limping in this game, they now have this handy dandy blue skull symbol when they're low enough health to be captured, which is the closest to an actual health bar that Monster Hunter should ever get to, in my personal opinion. I just don't think it's necessary. But again, I'm not saying that your opinion is bad so much as I'm saying that it is wrong to consider this something that needs to be added, to be fixed, as you say, as if it is a mistake to not be the case already. That wasn't so bad for how upset I usually get at game journalists though, so that's nice. Fugan? From the same article, entry number 10. Allow players to warp to party members. This is all to say it can be tedious to complete all these steps just for the reward of fast travel. It would be nice if Capcom made it so that players could warp right to any other team member in multiplayer, saving a lot of time and stress. Oh God, no, what the hell? Sorry, what game do you think this is? How big do you really think the maps are? We have palamutes that can run as fast as the monsters can. The subcamps that you yourself mentioned, and you're saying that you want, no, you're specifically saying that we need, that it should be in the game to just be able to teleport to other hunters? Hell no, this is an RPG. It's not some drop-in multiplayer party game you aren't intended to play for the first time and be able to go wherever the hell you want and do whatever the hell you want. Unlocking the subcamps is an intentional part of the feeling of the progression of this game. Unlocking the fast travel is purposeful. It's something that you're supposed to do and feel better about once you've done it. And no map in this game has any place far enough from one of these subcamps that it is so annoying to travel that I would rather break the entire veil of immersion in the game to add in teleportation to other players. It just sounds insane to me in so many ways. Fugan? From the same article. No, not again. Oh, one last one? Fine. Number 4. The game needs a glider. This game is also screaming for a glider akin to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or even Genshin Impact. Saying this, there are actually gliders in the game via the Meowcenary Guild. Those are kites technically, but that would also be a cool option. Okay, you don't want to play Monster Hunter, do you? It doesn't feel like you do. Look, I appreciate passion and a curiosity for expansion into new territory as much as the next person, but this article is literally titled The 10 Biggest Fixes That This Game Needs. It is pretty damn overzealous to say that we need a glider. Like, what? Wire bugs can get you pretty much anywhere that you need to go from a high up place like a glider would, and even then there are so few places where getting enough height to use a theoretical glider properly, it just doesn't make any sense to me. This would literally just be an attempt to appeal to fans of other games. It just makes no sense in Monster Hunter. I mean, we literally have invincible robotic knees that are immune to fall damage. How do we need this? We have incredible vertical wall running movement and fantastic horizontal speed between the wire bugs and the palamutes. Just in what world do you label this as something that needs to be fixed in the game? That is basically implying that Monster Hunter Rise is just broken until they add this glider. Why do people do this? I don't get it. What you meant to say, what you meant to write an article on is something like, hey, a glider might be a neat thing to have in Monster Hunter. But what has actually happened is you sat down and wrote an article about how to fix Monster Hunter Rise in the ways that it needs to be fixed, and chose to anger people for no good reason. Fugen? In response to a tweet about an interview with director Ichinose about quest preparation in Monster Hunter Rise. So basically, this game is being geared to be a mobile game? All these less prep and less grind ideas sound like they are gearing up to release this on iOS and Android, which I would be shocked by just due to the popularity of the series at this point. First up, before I let my anger out, I'm going to assume that that is a typo based on the tone of the rest of the tweet, and that you actually meant to say that you would not be surprised to see this happen. That seemed like the energy that you're going for, and that is how I'll be responding to this, and so, if that isn't the case, then consider this response null and void. If I'm right about your intentions, however, a mobile game? Are you kidding me? What on earth about this screams mobile game to you? Is ease of use and quality of life something exclusive to the phone gaming sphere? Think about what your argument is in and of itself, though. You are saying that these are changes that make the game fit better portably, almost as if Monster Hunter Rise itself is a game intended to be played on the Nintendo Switch, a portable system. Monster Hunter has had its own say in the mobile game market before in the past, but it's not what you were implying here. It's not the Frankenstein's monster of the main series game about to be ripped off of the consoles that has been on for years just to be stuffed inside of your mobile phone. No controllers allowed, only motion controls. No weapon choice allowed, only greatsword. No monster choice allowed, only Rathalos. You see what I'm saying? The jump from less prep to full-on mobile game is massive. You're making giant leaps. The developers are definitely trying to find new ways to bring new players into the series, but that is not the one. Fugen? It is clear that the author does not understand Monhun, but most of all I was disappointed by the simplification of the game. Why they removed the hot drink. Let's remove all non-native statuses altogether. Let's make the player kill the monster with one hit. No, what? Again, come on guys, I get it. I miss hot drinks as much as the next person. Well, okay, maybe not quite as much as the next person. I was pretty bad at remembering to bring them, but I definitely think it was a great system. And it just added that little bit more of interesting mechanical depth to the game, with things like the desert requiring a cold drink during the day and a hot drink at night, as deserts are also renowned for being cold at night. However, that's about it. That is the only thing I think that has actually cost us. Hot drinks don't really add all that much other than that. It's not like the hot pepper plant was a staple in Monster Hunter and this is egregious that it's gone, and the maps would look empty without them. I mean, look at them now that we have the full game out. We see all of these various kinds of living, breathing things all around the place. So much endemic life that I can easily understand the decision to remove a bit of other preparations from the experience. The depth of play that you are looking for is not gone. It has just been repurposed, moved, and changed. It's still there in other systems. No, it's not the same as what you had before, but removing hot drinks from the game is maybe a few steps removed from every hunt just walking up and one-shotting the monster. Fugen, you will enjoy the unique and diverse biomes, the character designs, and the cool dragons. You will hate how ridiculously long, drawn out the fights are. No health bar, having to chase the dragon all around the map. A lot of the missions are solo only, getting stunned and roar staggered every 15 seconds when you don't have earplugs, and having to sharpen your blade mid-battle. Sorry, this is about Monster Hunter World, the game that you apparently got for free, and you posted this review after 8.5 hours? Now, I will say good on you for not stopping there. It looks like you gave it another 20 hours or so even after this scathing review, but back to that, no, the fights are long. Yes, that's the nature of the game. It is possible that people will dislike that, but stating it as it's just an objectively negative part of the game is just bad. Why would you do that? Health bar I talked about earlier, and you know exactly how I feel about it. I can understand the idea of it, especially the wanting of it from a new player, but it's just so unnecessary for how the game works. You are a person hunting an animal. When you swatted a fly in real life, does a health bar appear above its head? No. If it does, maybe go see a doctor. The main thing is, if there is a health bar in the game, it would put players who choose not to have that setting on at a disadvantage. And in my opinion, that is a much worse situation to put your long-term fans in than the current one of just not offering a health bar at all. Chasing the dragon is fair. That is very much a game mechanic. You do chase them around various places. However, you could also argue that this change of setting makes the fights a bit more interesting, though I'll let you have that one, I guess. The next one, though, that's just a straight up falsehood. Completely incorrect. The only quests in this game that you can only play solo are the first parts of the Witcher crossover and the Monster Hunter movie event quests. Everything else is playable in multiplayer, though I can forgive you for not working that out given the weirdness with having to watch the cutscenes first, but a quick Google would tell you that you can in fact play through these things multiplayer. Getting stunned is part of the game, not necessarily one that I personally enjoy, but the idea of building skills to counter a specific annoying instance, such as stun or getting earplugs to ignore roars, is a very specific and intentional and beloved part of the gameplay loop of these games. Having to sharpen mid-battle, I'm on board with that. Sharpening as a whole is a mechanic I have always just sort of lived with rather than actively liking, so that one's valid criticism. Congratulations. Honestly, I can't believe it just doesn't end. The amount of completely insane statements that people are willing to make up about this series is just keeps going, but hey, maybe this time next year we'll be teleporting to our hunting partners on top of the mountain so we can use our kite glider to cross the map for some reason. Do you agree with any of these takes? Do you have any hot takes of your own to get off of your chest? Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet. Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world our stage. Goodbye.